Welcome to the Disney Scrapbook, where together we take a journey to explore Disney history from 50 years ago. My name is Nolan. Today, I thought we'd take a look at this heartwarming, sensitive, poignant world drama, The Biscuit Eater, released March 22nd, 1972. In 1939, the New York Saturday Evening Post published James Street's short story about a boy and his dog called The Biscuit Eater, which was widely acclaimed. Born in Mississippi on October 5th, 1903, to a lawyer, he was a hobo, soda jerk, butcher, reporter, and a minister before he became a famous writer, being able to draw on all his experiences when he wrote his stories. Paramount Pictures picked up the story, with Lily Hayward and Stuart Anthony creating a screenplay that was shot in black and white in Albany, Georgia, and released just a year after the story first appeared in print, on May 24th, 1940, starring Billy Lee, Cordell Hickman, Helen Millard, Richard Lane, and Lester Matthews. Following the film, James Street wrote the story into a book that Dial Press published. Next, it appeared in a collection of dog stories distributed by the Book of the Month Club, before being published in a pocket-sized edition. It became a radio play on September 30th, 1944.
The National Broadcasting Company presents another in the series of famous stories for the young of all ages. Adventure Ahead. This week, The Biscuit Eater by James Street. A story of hunting dogs and the men and boys who raised them. The story of a scrawny little water-eyed pup that folks down south...
I'll leave a link to that in the description below. Ultimately, the story was picked up by Disney for $30,000. On November 7, 1966, $15,000 went to Universal Pictures, who owned the Paramount film, and $15,000 went to James Street. Bill Anderson recalls that Walt Disney had been keenly interested in making a motion picture of The Biscuit Eater as early as 1955, and they were about to negotiate with Paramount for the rights when Old Yeller turned up. Walt decided on that instead, but told Anderson that they should someday produce Biscuit Eater, which they did in 1972. The story traces how two friends, Lonnie and Tex, are determined against all odds to turn a misfit hound into a hero. Tennessee farmer and dog trainer Harv McNeil tells his son Lonnie that his dog, moreover, is a good-for-nothing biscuit eater. But Lonnie and Tex won't give up on this untrainable outcast, and after overcoming serious obstacles, the dog proves that he has championship potential. Lawrence Edward Watkin wrote the screenplay for the Disney version of the tale, basing it on the 1940 Paramount Picture film, having previously written the screenplays for other Disney classics like Darby O'Gill and the Little People and Treasure Island. Lonnie's father, dog handler and trainer Harv McNeil, is played by the Western actor and animal rights activist Earl Holliman. His wife, Mary Lee McNeil, is played by the vivacious and prolific TV actress Patricia Crowley, who found the role exciting to her, since it provided an opportunity to show female bargaining power at work. The kennel owner, Mr. Ames, is played by veteran actor Lew Ayres, who is best known for his role as Dr. Kildare. He had great admiration for Vincent McVitie's direction of this film, saying, "I thought I'd seen it all. I'm glad I'm not directing this one." As he watched 50 actors and extras come over the hill towards the cameras. with a couple of dogs and 2 young boys ahead of them. And, as if that wasn't enough, the scene also called for a dozen pheasants to take flight on cue. Well-known comedian and satirist Godfrey Cambridge made his final film appearance as Willie Dorsey, a smooth-talking, fast-dealing operator who runs a gasless gas station. He describes the character as a lovable rascal who manages by hustling and makes it on his wits. He explains that the character of Willie is patterned after 2 guys he knows. One is a handyman who has a college degree, but he doesn't like teaching, so he's a handyman with an unlisted number. The other is an acquaintance that always carries a Chicago bankroll, a $50 bill wrapped around a wad of singles, who says he never has change for anything and is always swindling people out of money. In the film, Willie is a veteran who uses his mustering out pay to buy a service station in Tennessee. But he doesn't have enough money left to buy gas, so he has to talk his customers out of buying gas. Gifted actress Beah Richards portrays a widow trying to raise a son in post-World War II Tennessee. Believes that names are a strong key to a character. And this character, named Charity Tomlinson, is kind, generous, and as charitable as anyone you'll ever meet. Her name was quite symbolic. 11-year-old Johnny Whitaker plays Harv's 13-year-old son, Lonnie, who's grown especially fond of an outcast dog. Johnny Whitaker is probably best known for playing Jody on the TV sitcom Family Affair. Although this was only his second motion picture, he displayed such ability and experience that Disney immediately contracted him to play Napoleon in the film Napoleon and Samantha, which I will review in July of this year. He later went on to star in the 1973 MGM musical film Tom Sawyer with Jodie Foster, with music by the Sherman Brothers. Bright young teenager George Spell, best known for the 1970 film They Call Me Mr. Tibbs with Sidney Poitier, convincingly handles the co-starring role with Johnny Whitaker as one of the young boys who trains a misfit dog to become a champion. The loud, blustery character actor Clifton James, known for playing frustrated, fast-talking Southern characters who had mastered a Southern accent despite being from Spokane, Washington, played the vindictive farmer Mr. Eben. The title role of the film is really the dog moreover. Bill Anderson, the producer, recalls how Frank Howell, the dog handler, had searched in vain for months attempting to find the right animal for the role, but none seemed to have the right combination of a warm personality, appealing appearance, and trainability. Then one weekend, Bill was out at the Golden Oak Ranch in New Hall when he saw some tree trimmers pruning the trees. When he went over to watch them, he saw an unusually perky dog darting out beneath the underbrush. It belonged to one of the tree trimmers. He was 8 months old and had just arrived from Denmark. The dog's name was Rolf von Wolfgang. His sire was a motion picture star in Scandinavia. Cal spent 2 weeks training him and fell in love with him, resulting in a difficult couple of months finding stand-ins for the German wire-haired pointer, eventually finding 2 in Northern California. The 29-year Disney veteran Bill Anderson produced the film, having worked extensively in both motion pictures and television productions. In the previous year, 1971, he had produced both The $1 Million Duck and The Barefoot Executive, two films that I have previously reviewed on my channel, and we'll leave a link to those in the description below. However, he is probably best known for movies such as Audie Eller, Swiss Family Robinson, and The Happiest Millionaire. When directing, Vincent McVitie liked to project as much realism into a film or television project as possible. He did this by requiring the actors to perform their own stunts. For a fight scene in Biscuit Eater, 2 stuntmen were employed. For Clifton, Reggie Parton, an excellent swimmer and experienced stuntman for the westerns in the 50s and 60s, and doubling for Earl, Howard Curtis, the excellent diver, pilot, and experienced stuntman. However, when they began working out the scene for the cameras at the Disney Golden Oak Ranch, McVitie got the idea for the stuntman to teach a choreographed, clean, well-motivated fight to Holliman and James. So they taught them fancy footwork and how to throw a punch without actually connecting. Richard A. Kelly, the director of photography on this film, have recently completed the photography on Disney's Justin Morgan Had a Horse, which I have recently reviewed, and will leave a link to that in the description below. This may explain why this shot from the Biscuit Eater is so similar to this shot from Disney's Justin Morgan Had a Horse, as they were released a month apart from each other. The title song of the Biscuit Eater, More Over Than Me, was written and sung by Shane Tatum. This easygoing folk song with harmonica accompaniment lends itself beautifully to the sensitive story of 2 young boys and their misfit dog growing up in the Tennessee hills of 1946. Tatum worked in Disney's publicity department, and upon viewing an early cut of the film, asked producer Bill Anderson if he could write a song for the film based on his childhood memories of his dog. The 1972 Disney film, The Biscuit Eater, differs from the 1940 Paramount Pictures version in a few ways. Disney incorporated the kind and generous character of Tex's mother, Charity, giving the film a sense of comfort and warmth that is not present in the Paramount picture. Additionally, Disney's character of Willie Dorsey allows for the incorporation of humor. The Paramount Pictures version has this character racially stereotyped as the subservient worker Simon, Tex's father, and it is he who tells the kids to pull the dog off at the end of the competition. Alcohol is mentioned in the Paramount Pictures version, as a gallon of gin is traded for the dog. Also, violence is used against the children when Lonnie's father hits him across the face. In the Disney version, they have the dog moreover poisoned by a neighbor farmer. But in true Disney fashion, the story ends on a happy feel-good note, whereas Promise is shot dead in the Paramount Pictures version. This is a fine Disney family film with confident, plausible performances by the 2 child actors Whitaker and Spell. However, it is a product of its time and does exemplify racial stereotypes that have existed. Some of the film's problems clearly come from the fact that this screenplay is a remake of a 1940s film based on a 1939 short story written by a Southerner. Nonetheless, this is diluted by the fact that the 2 boys are obviously not just best friends, but partners. It is hard to tell what time period this film is meant to be set in, as the boys wear 1970s clothing, but the cars are from the 1940s. Wolfgang's performance as the dog moreover is amazing, and I think he deserves an Oscar. I am particularly drawn to this shot that shows the love for the dog and the friendship that the two boys share. I enjoyed this film and will watch it again for the heartwarming character of Charity, the trusting friendship of the two boys and dog, and the comedy of Willie Dorsey. This is not a Disney classic, but an enjoyable way to spend an evening. Although this film was given a G rating upon its release on March 22nd, 1972, I would recommend it for family entertainment, but not for very young children, because of some scenes of violence and racial stereotyping. Therefore, I would rate the film as PG. If you would like to watch The Biscuit Eater for yourself, it is available on iTunes, Amazon Prime, Google Play, Disney Plus, and of course DVD. If you enjoyed this type of 50th anniversary content, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. I will be producing other 50th anniversary content throughout the year that will include Disney film reviews, LPs, books, and theme park content. Thanks everybody for watching. TTFN, ta-da for now.